Comparing circulatory and gas exchange systems. Animals must take in nutrients and oxygen and remove wastes, including carbon dioxide. Multicellular organisms need circulatory systems and respiratory systems to carry out exchanges with the environment. Circulatory systems carry blood, and they may be open or closed. They're typically made up of hearts and blood vessels. Respiratory systems may rely on diffusion or on circulatory systems. They carry out gas exchange. Hydra, an example of a simple cnidarian, has a simple sac with an opening to the environment. As it moves around, fluid containing food and oxygen flows into the sac, and fluid containing carbon dioxide and other wastes flow out. This is sufficient exchange for a small animal with no organ systems and tissues that are only 2 cells thick. As animals increase in size, their body systems increase in complexity. Circulatory systems and gas exchange systems are required. Arthropods, that include insects, arachnids, and crustaceans, have a heart with 7 chambers, right over here, that are distributed along the length of its body. Yet arthropods do not have circulatory vessels. They have open circulatory systems. Blood cells are not kept separate from other extracellular fluids, and a complex fluid surrounds the internal organs. The beating of the 7 chambers helps to move the fluid and promote exchange across cell membranes. However, the circulatory system of an arthropod is not enough for gas exchange. It could not deliver enough oxygen to every cell in the body. So, insects also have another gas exchange system. Spiracles, which are gated openings in their exoskeleton, allow the movement of oxygen into a tracheal system through insects' tissues. This type of gas exchange relies entirely on diffusion. The combination of the open circulatory system, spiracles, and the tracheal system works well for insects because they are small. However, the lack of lungs and vessels and dependence on gas diffusion are factors that prevent them from growing to larger sizes. In arthropods, such as this fly, gas exchange or respiration is carried out by spiracles, those blue things there, and the tracheal system. The 7-chambered heart, right up here again like on the previous slides, is shown in red, and the neural cord and brain are shown in purple. Annelids, or segmented worms, have a simple closed circulatory system, more like humans. The earthworm has branching vessels that distribute blood throughout the body and simple pumping hearts, aortic arches, made of rings of contractile muscle tissue. Vertebrates, such as humans, have closed cardiovascular systems far more complex than those of annelids. Vertebrate hearts have multiple chambers, 1 or 2 atria, with 1 or 2 ventricles. Atria receive blood from the tissues and pump it into the ventricles. Ventricles receive blood from the atria and pump it out of the heart. The blood vessels are complex branching structures made up of arteries, veins, and capillaries that carry oxygen to and remove wastes from every cell in the body. Fish, the first vertebrates to evolve, have 2-chambered hearts and 1 circuit of blood flow. They exchange gases through gills rather than lungs. They are cold-blooded and thus have lower metabolic rates than warm-blooded animals. So here's your 2 chambers, a ventricle and an atrium. Lizards and amphibians represent the vertebrate evolutionary transition to terrestrial life. They have 3-chambered hearts, right over there. They have gills in their larval stage and lungs in their adult stage. They can exchange oxygen through their skin. They have 2 circuits of blood, with some mixing of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Mixing takes place right over here in step 2. Mammals, reptiles, birds, and crocodiles have 4-chambered hearts. And that's right over here. 1, 2, and then the atria are the 2 smaller ones on top. And a double circulatory system consisting of 2 separate circuits where blood passes through the heart twice. The pulmonary circuit, that's up here, carries blood between the lungs and the heart, and the systemic circuit down here carries blood between the heart and the body tissues. The two circuits ensure that the oxygenated blood, which is in red, is kept separate from the deoxygenated blood, which is illustrated in blue. This adaptation increases the efficiency of gas exchange and promotes a higher metabolic rate. Birds and mammals are warm-blooded creatures. They may be very large and can engage in intense activities such as flight or running for long periods of time. And just a quick word about our color scheme. Red is always the color of blood. Blood is always red, whether it's been oxygenated or deoxygenated. This is just a handy way of separating the two. The circulatory systems over time have evolved from none, as in Hydra and other jellyfish, to open with many hearts, as in arthropods, then to closed with contractile rings, as in earthworms, to closed with a two-chambered heart, as in fish, and finally closed with a four-chambered heart, as in mammals, reptiles, and crocodiles, and birds. With each adaptation over time, the efficiency of blood circulation and gas exchange increased, allowing the class of animal to reach larger sizes. And please click on this to see some great information on the evolution of the heart.